There's a couple of ways to find a power series. One way is you take a series that you already know. For example, 1 over 1 minus x is equal to the sum from 0 to infinity of x to the n. So that's going to be, first of all, a 1, and then x, and x squared, etc. So you take one that you already know, and then using either algebra or calculus or pre-calculus, manipulate it to become the function that you need. So for this one, since x is a variable, I could replace the x with whatever I want. I'm going to replace it with x to the fourth. By the way, this one converges for x between -1 and +1 is also given when you look up this particular series. So now replace all of the x's with x to the fourth. So 1 over 1 minus x to the fourth will become the sum from 0 to infinity. Then it's going to be x to the fourth in place of x. Or in other words, it's going to be 1, and then this one is going to be x to the fourth. This would be x to the fourth squared, x to the eighth, etc. And then that is for x to the fourth between -1 and +1. Well, x to the fourth equal to a -1 would require imaginary numbers, so we don't have that. So instead we would need to restrict it to this, so that it's positive. How about if it equals 0? Would that work? So if it equals 0, this would say 1 over 1. If it equals 0, we would have 0 to the 0 would be the first term. 0 to the 0? No, that's not possible, 0 to the 0. So this is not supposed to be an equals on the 0. Is it supposed to be an equals on the 1? So if we have a 1, this would be 1 minus 1. That's division by 0, so no, that's not going to work. And so then we would take the fourth root. Well, if you take the fourth root, another way to look at this is take a look at the graph of y equals x to the fourth. This is going back to pre-calculus right now. So you take a look at its graph, it looks sort of like a parabola, and this is saying it needs to be between 0 and 1. So here's a height of 1, here's a height of 0, and then what x values does that work for? Well, right here, if you take the fourth root of 1, you'll find out that's 1, and right here, that's -1. So when you take the fourth root, then actually x is between 1 and -1. So we're back to the beginning range. Okay, so there we go, and there is the power series.